just sounds like the recipe for someone to be transformed into a toxic auntie.
I'm Elise Real.
And I'm Isha Bell.
And this is Full-Time Black Women, a community for Black professional women to live, laugh, grow, and feel the soul. So what are we talking about today, Isha?
Today we are talking about toxic aunties. Yeah, so as Black professional women ourselves,
yes,
Elise, we have been in situations where maybe we've been the only Black woman in our workplace or one of few. So if you just so happen to be in a situation where you're one of few or you may be one of many, you may have come across a toxic auntie. So these tend to be Black professional women in workplaces who have a hard time with being welcoming to a fellow Black professional woman. They may be off-putting, or they somehow attempt to establish themselves as queen bee of the department.
Right.
The reason we're talking about it is because it's an issue. Maybe not for the masses, but it's an issue for us because we're experiencing it day in and day out. And unfortunately, it's something that's not really talked about much. So we need to discuss it here on Full-Time Black Women.
I think you are right. So let's get into it. How about we do them
stats for that ass? Hey, stats for that ass. Hey, bringing you the facts with some stats for that ass.
So, among adult women aged 20 and older, Black women were 62.5% of the labor force in 2017. That sounds pretty accurate, I think.
I mean, yes, it sounds spot on. I mean, when you think about it, we are not only outpacing our Black male brothers in the world, you know, we outnumber them anyways.
Yeah.
But also we will outnumber our white female counterparts because more than likely, as Black women, we may be the breadwinners in our households.
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. So in addition to that, for every 100 men, 60 Black women are promoted to management positions. So when I hear that and I hear the first stat that we talked about, I basically get a sense that there are many of us working, but not a lot of us progressing or less opportunity to do so.
Yeah, it just sounds like the recipe for someone to be transformed into a toxic auntie.
So how about we stop with all the stats and everything and just go ahead and jump right into defining it. So what is a toxic auntie? A toxic auntie is a mature Black woman who's pretty seasoned. They've been around. They know what they're talking about. They have moved up maybe in the company and they have established themselves. These women often display the highest level of professionalism when it comes to their white counterparts and management and things like that. But when it comes to the young Black females who come in, the new talent and things like that, or their Black colleagues, they have less professional maturity and often can be territorial in these environments, basically establishing themselves as, Isha, you mentioned before, the queen bee. So that can create a recipe for disaster sometimes.
Yeah, so I would like to add on to your definition of a toxic auntie and give maybe a little bit of a more of a in-depth look at it. So there are two types of toxic aunties that I can think of off the bat, the main ones that you may come across.
Okay.
They may have different characteristics, but in the instance, they're kind of the same. So Keisha's in a barrel. Have you ever heard of the crab in a barrel syndrome?
I'm familiar.
Okay, so for those who aren't familiar to what a crab in a barrel syndrome is, it's basically, say, for instance, let's make a picture. Picture it. So, Golden Girl reference.
Right.
Picture it. It's like 20 crabs in a bucket, and they're all trying to get out because, hey, a crab's not supposed to be in a damn bucket.
Right.
And as one crawls over the other to get almost close to that rim, he can see it. He's about to get out. He can feel, he can taste the freedom. Oh, why Why am I going backwards? Because he's being pulled down by the other crabs. We're like, hey, I need to crawl on top of you to get out. And then he's like, no, I need to crawl on top of you to get out. And it's just an never-ending cycle of crabs pulling one another down in order for them to be the one to get out. And they never do.
I got you.
Yeah. So, I mean, Keisha's in the Barrel are kind of similar to that. So, they're more so your peer group.
Okay.
You know, they are the ones who are constantly trying to dim the light of those with ambition because they just don't believe that you can do it because they haven't been able to do it.
Right.
And they also have this way of putting the fear of failure in you, you know, because they just feel as if they've been there longer than you, then they deserve a promotion, as opposed to maybe you just have more skill and talent. That doesn't matter to them.
Right.
They are the ones who just feel as if in order for anybody to move up, it's going to be me.
Right.
So, another example of a toxic auntie is Stephania.
Ooh.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure you've seen the movie Django.
Yes.
So Samuel L. Jackson's character in the movie name was Steven.
Right.
And he was one of those slaves who feel as if he was better than the rest of the slaves, but he was still a slave.
Right.
And he was okay with listening to Leonardo DiCaprio's character, who was younger than him, but at the same time, he made sure that the rest of the slaves knew that he was the top dog. He was the one.
He was the head in charge.
Yeah, so when Jamie Foxx's character came in on a horse, he was like, that nigga on a horse. You know, he just could not believe it.
Who that?
But he's a slave calling another black person a nigga.
Right.
And when Leonardo DiCaprio was like, yeah, fix a room for him. He's like, fix a room for him? You won't let this nigga sleep in the big house?
Right.
Oh, we gonna have to burn the sheets. Oh, we might have to burn the whole house. You know? So, just one of those people who, when it comes to maybe senior management, they are just so sweet. It's so nice. They're a joy.
A pleasure to work with.
They're approachable. They are just the good kind.
Easy to handle.
Exactly. You ain't never gonna get no problems out of Stephania. Stephania is the one that we all try to be like, oh.
I love working with Stephania.
Stephania is sent from heaven. I tell you, God kissed her himself before he sent her down here to be a part of it. One of those people. But then you get the one, y'all niggas know each other. You know? That's the side that the other black professional women get. We don't get, oh yes, I had those straight to yourself. We get to get back to work. What y'all want? Yes, can I help you? You know, you go and ask her a question.
Right.
So, yeah, those are the two types of toxic aunties. Keisha's in the Barrel and Stephania.
I love those examples. That's like spot on. That's completely spot on. So let's talk about how to better recognize these Stephanias and Keishas in a Barrel. There are 3 different types that we want to talk about. The first one, beware the token. So the token, of course, is the one who has been there and is determined to be the one and only forever and always. They are extremely territorial, and you might confide in them thinking, you know, I respect them, they're my auntie, you know, they're looking out for me, but at the end of the day, they come back and they use what they have learned about you against you. Another one to beware of is the dimmer. The dimmer is a Debbie Downer, a bitter Betty who constantly tries to downplay your achievements, make you feel small, belittle you, dim your light in order to discourage your ambition. Basically, the shade thrower.
Yeah, they throw shade
all day. The last one, beware the spotlighter. So this person tries to outshine others, but not in a healthy way. They're trying to spotlight their own intelligence, their own knowledge base and skill set by spotlighting your mistakes, highlighting the things that you do wrong or what they believe that you have done wrong, because not always are the mistakes that you have really made. They just believe they know more than you and sometimes turn out to be incorrect, but still have to throw that spotlight on something.
Yeah, so I would say that the 3 things that you talked about, beware of the spotlight, beware of the dimmer, as well as beware of the token. So these are characteristics that I feel like toxic aunties may not display all the time.
Right.
It may be a once in a while situation.
Right.
Where you're cool, you guys may get breakfast together, you may go walking to get your steps in, you may even eat lunch with her. But now that we're bringing these things up, maybe in the back of your mind, things are starting to get unlocked. Like, yeah, that one time I made that one tiny mistake, but she sent out an email to everybody or CC'd my manager instead of coming directly to me.
Been there.
Or it could be another time where, yeah, I've been here for a long time. Don't worry about applying for that job because they're not going to give it to you.
Right.
Believe me, I've been here long enough. Do you see me moving up?
Right.
They don't want us there, you know, or it could also be the one, the dimmer, the shade thrower.
Yes.
You know, well, if you did your work on time, then maybe you would have got that promotion, you know. Not very supportive. I mean, you can be real with somebody, but also being just real nasty are two different things.
Absolutely. So how could we handle this? What's your tip?
Well, my tip has been my tip for as long as I can remember.
Right.
I don't deal with nasty and negative people.
I get you.
Those are two areas that I do not care to visit at all. So my tip is to avoid.
Okay.
Avoid the situation, that person, as much as possible. If you do not have to work closely with them, then the best thing for me to do is to act as if you're invisible. Okay? Casper who? I don't see him. Okay? So I have no problem with making sure I go out of my way to not have to deal with you, because not only because I just don't want to deal with the negativity, it's more so this is my place of work. Okay, this is where I make sure that I can provide a livelihood for not only myself but also my family.
Right.
This is a place that I worked my butt off in school to get a degree to get here.
Yep.
This is somewhere where I'm trying to establish a career. I do not need somebody who is not going far, because if you're that negative right there, negativity begets negativity.
Yes, it does.
So that means that you are not only hindering yourself, but you're not going to throw that salt in my way.
No.
And also, I'm from the hood, and I don't know how to control myself. Okay. I think also I know how ignorant I can get. Okay. Yeah. I just don't want to do that where I actually make my coins.
I got you.
So the best thing for me to do is avoid it, because if I go straight forward with it, I'm demolishing everything in my path.
You got a toxicity allergy.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm allergic to it. I'm allergic to nastiness. So when it comes down to it, somebody getting stumped, and more than likely it's not going to be me.
I don't think so.
Girl, please. Don't try to set me up for no HR. What about you, Elise?
Okay, so I do avoid, but I first try to kill them with kindness. I do not want somebody to get me out of character. That's my thing. You won't get me all rowdy, but all of a sudden, I will kill them with kindness. So if you come at me sideways, you only get a few of these, but I'll be like, oh, all right, I can, maybe you're having a bad day. Thank you. I'm done. That's it. That's all. Or, I don't know. I don't want to lower myself to the level of somebody else who is obviously just being immature or has some issues that they are dealing with that is manifesting in the workplace. I don't want to be on that level. I want to rise above.
Yeah, I choose to rise above from a distance.
That makes sense. I get it. I get it.
But I commend you.
Thank you.
For trying to kill someone with kindness.
I try.
Look, I just saw a meme that somebody put on social media, and they were like, when black people say, you're better than me, they're talking about you. They don't really mean you're better than me, but you know me. You and our relationship. Our relationship is deeper than that, but you're better than me. That's all I can say. Another way that I deal with toxic aunties, other than just flat out avoiding them, is I outshine you, boo.
I know that's right.
That's what I'm about to do. Okay? I am going to make sure that your issues that you may have with me that really are deep-seated issues within yourself,
correct,
do not, will not, cannot bad boy. You know, like. I heard it in my head after I said it. I was like, "Ooh, bad boy, bad boy." All of a sudden, all of a sudden, I'm in a shiny suit, I'm dancing. All of a sudden, I get some sunglasses on with shiny lips. I don't know. So, ain't nobody gonna hold me down. No. Okay, you're right. But now outshine is thinking about that.
Right.
It makes me think about that. But yeah, I'm gonna outshine you. I'm gonna continue to kill it when it comes to my performance, build relationships which are necessary within your career, and I'm not going to allow your terrible thoughts or feelings against me to hold me back from doing what I'm known to do, which is just be a brave star.
Right. I hear you. That's good. I mean, because that type of energy is contagious if you have it around too much.
If you allow it to be contagious. Like I said, I'm allergic to it, so
that's right.
I'll spray it like some Lysol. Get on out of me.
Get some raid on them.
Right, get out of here.
So the last thing that you can do is recycle the petty. So if you're tired of being kind, you've avoided as much as you can avoid, you continue to outshine because that won't stop. But at the end of everything, you can recycle the petty. Just dish it back. You know, they say it's better to give than to receive. So maybe you just need to professionally clap back on that ass sometimes.
Yeah. But hey, sometimes they gotta be put in their place, and I feel like actually they're looking for it, but they want to get that rise out of you.
Yeah, no, but they want you to do it in a way that will make you look bad.
Yes.
Now, when you come back and you're like, per my initial email, or, you know, per the conversation that we had previously on such and so date, that type of thing, then, you know, they really have nothing to say. But you want to make sure that you have proofread it, set it appropriately, delete it, have multiple revisions, had your friend proofread it, and then, you know, email it and send it out, basically.
Yeah. I guess I'm pretty sure I've done that before, because the level of pettiness I have attained. Oh, if it was a video game, I would have unlocked the bonus round.
I know that's right.
Because I tell you, the Isha today is so much calmer than the Isha long time ago. The Isha back then, please, Toxic Auntie, she wouldn't have lasted this long when it comes down to it. But then again, the Isha now is making way more money than the Isha back then. So it kind of mellows you out a little bit when you see them dollars every 2 weeks. Yeah, I have more to lose.
You do.
You are not worth me doing that. My baby got to eat.
I know that's right.
Oh,
he need his crunchies.
Exactly. My baby need his crunchies on deck. I got cheddar, I got tomato, I got everything you need. Hey, baby mommy coming with the crunchies. Hey. I'm dealing crunchies like I'm dealing coke. What? People. What about you, Elise? Have you had any experiences with a Stephania or maybe even a Keisha in a barrel?
Definitely with a Stephania. I was new to a company, brand new to the area, and was just happy and excited to start. And I ran into a Stephania, and initially she was very nice, very pleasant. She was very helpful. She taught me different things about the office and things like that, or was attempting to. And the first time I had an incident, she was training me on something, and I asked her pretty appropriate question considering what we were talking about, and she was like, she laughed at me. She laughed at me and then covered herself and said, you know what, I wasn't laughing at you. It was just a question, you know, you've been around and you just, and I was like,
yeah,
that's
first of all,
weird.
That's not even a great explanation to laugh at another professional.
Exactly.
But she tried.
She did. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this one on the chin. Maybe she didn't mean it like that. Maybe I just misunderstand her or something like that. So I'm killing it. Okay, kill him with kindness. I was like, okay,
See, that's how when you kill him with kindness. Like, go ahead.
Kill him with kindness. I was like, okay, I understand. Can you elaborate on what this is and can we move on? And so we did. We moved on. Everything was cool. And me being new, I went to work and thought we had a dress down day. At all of my previous jobs, we've had dress down days, and I was like, yep, we're gonna have a dress down day. So I dressed down. I saw other people dress down, and I was like, yep, I'm doing the right thing. I'm cool. Come to find out, there was no dress down. There was no casual day. So next thing I know, an email goes out, and it goes out to our entire department.
Are you serious?
Everybody from VP to AVP to
What?
ABCD, like everybody on the list, and basically saying just remember that our dress policy includes blase blase, and you cannot dress down unless you do blase blase.
Now, are these other new employees or?
No, I am the only new employee. I am brand new as of like 3 days or something like that. And everybody else is like 10 plus. I mean, seasoned. I mean, have been soaking overnight, marinating for 3 days in the refrigerator type season. So they have been there, done that, known everything. And this email comes out, and I'm just like, that's for me. That's obviously for me.
What? Like, she couldn't just come talk to you face to face.
Right. No, and that's so exactly. So I went over to her, and I was like, you know what? I appreciate what you are trying to do here, but next time, if there is a next time and this situation arises, can you just come and talk to me? Because I am new.
Absolutely.
So obviously I didn't know this, but it would have been helpful if it was mentioned to me previously. Mm-hmm. But if you have something to share with me like this and of this nature, we sit not far from each other, just come talk to me.
Exactly.
So she's like, oh, okay. And that was the end of most of our interactions. Yeah, that was that.
That is just disgusting. Just somehow had to spotlight your mistakes.
Exactly.
And then by laughing at you, that was somehow some way also trying to dominate you as well, to make you feel as if you don't know and she's an expert.
Yes.
So that is so messed up.
Yep. What about you, Isha? What's your experience been with a Stephania or Keisha in the Barrel or?
So I've never had a Keisha in a Burrow, but I have had a Stephania.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy how we both never had Keisha in a Barrel? Someone of our peer group who has been negative or anything like that, but
I'm happy though.
I'm happy too, because that just shows you that our generation, is maybe progressing to the point that we are trying to support one another versus trying to cut one another down.
Yes.
Because we're more privy to the game that's going on, the overall game that's going on.
Right.
Now with my Stephania, when I first started, she was approachable, but she was giving like kind of backhanded statements. I wouldn't even say backhanded compliments. It's just she would say things as if she was a level above me. But when it comes down to it, in all actuality, she was at the bottom of the food chain.
Yeah,
the food chain.
The bottom of the food chain.
But she had to somehow try to do a mind switch on me to feel as if she was above me because she's been there longer. You've been there longer, but you don't have the skills or talents for the position that I was hired for, because that was true. They would have hired you and not me. So,
speak it.
Yeah, I let a few of the first things pass. I would go home and tell my husband, like, yeah, this happened at work. He was like, wait, what happened? And I, reiterated to him what happened.
Triggered.
Exactly. And he was like, yeah, no. He was like, don't you ever let her speak to you like that again, because she's trying to dominate you, and she's also trying to undermine your expertise of the reasons why you were recruited to come over and take this position in the first place.
Right.
So let that be the first and last time you allow her to get away with stuff. But I think the reason why I allow her to do what she did is because in our Black culture, we have been raised to respect older Black women.
Absolutely.
No matter how much older they are, she's an elder to us. So you don't really question, you don't really check, you just kind of fall in line, because look at the Black women who have been in our lives, our mothers, our grandmothers, our aunts, it could be coaches and everything else. You just, in our culture, that's what you do.
You respect first and you question later. And
it does seem to be a good thing because we're respecting our elders, as you should do.
Right.
But at the same time, when you're in the workplace, it's no longer that cultural. It's a cultural clash when it comes to corporate America.
Yeah.
The generations don't matter. It's all about your expertise and what you have to bring. When it comes down to it, I'm your coworker, not a little kid.
Exactly.
Not your niece.
I am not your child.
You don't pay
my rent. You don't pay my bills.
You need to respect me.
Right.
So that's the reason I think we tend to allow them to slide, because of that cultural upbringing to respect an older black woman.
Absolutely, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, and then also the situation with this Stephania wasn't my issue initially. There was a younger black female who she was training, and the training was so unprofessional. Like, she was talking to her like she was going over her kids' math at the kitchen table during her training. Like, where's 5? Well, this one's 5. Where do you see 5? Like, she doing a hand clapping thing and everything. No. And the rest of the team was hearing this, and we're all like, whoa, awkward. This is so unprofessional. I've never been in an environment like this, because everywhere I have been, fortunately, I have had positive aunties
me too.
Who have all been there to guide me, to be a resource, to be a open ear and a shoulder to lean on if I had situations being black in corporate America that I couldn't talk to my white counterparts about. You know, they have always been a sounding board.
Right. And
I thought all aunties are like that. Wrong.
Little did you know.
You was wrong. Okay. And I kind of befriended, the younger black female, because I wanted to be that positive auntie for her that I have been blessed to have my entire career up until the point of coming to this place.
Right.
Once we built that friendship, Stephania started to attack me even more.
So you were guilty by association.
Guilty by association, but what did you say before? They have a level of immaturity that just cannot be defined or understood.
Right.
And I didn't try to waste my time trying to figure it out.
No need.
Even though I was friends with the younger black female, I was still speaking to her because we're professionals.
Exactly.
We're professionals. We're here to do our job. I'm not here to be your friend.
No.
Okay? No, friends. But at the same time, I'm going to respect you because we have to work together.
Right.
She would slowly but surely not speak to me when I would say hello or good morning to her
so
when
rude.
We passed one another. Or I would come and ask a question and she would be defensive and think that I'm trying to put her in her place because she, doesn't want anybody questioning her at all.
How
she
old
could
are
do
we?
No wrong. Yes!
Like, what is that?
Oh my goodness. So all in all, I do not talk to Toxic Auntie at all. I avoid because when it comes down to it, I don't know how I would handle it if she decided to test me, and I'm not trying to mess with my coins.
I hear that.
So, when it comes down to it, that's who they are, that's who they're going to be, and we can only do one thing, and that is control how we react to the situation.
Exactly. So basically, to your point, Isha, we need to follow the tips that we talked about previously. So whether that's avoiding, whether that's killing them with kindness, they only get a few though, outshine them because we will always let that light shine, or recycle the petty if you need to. Sometimes you have to go there. Sometimes. Do it professionally. But we just wanted to make sure you had these tips, help you understand and recognize some of the toxic aunties that might be out there. And again, they might not show all of the symptoms of being a toxic auntie or do it all of the time. But there are instances that you should look out for to know how to handle yourself accordingly. So with that being said, we want to thank you all for listening. And remember, ladies, we're here for you full time from coffee to wine.
And to remember to play your power perfectly.
Peace.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us. Full Time Black Women is created, recorded, and produced by Elise Real and Isha Bell. For more opportunities to live, laugh, grow, and fill the soul, be sure to like, review, comment, and subscribe to Full Time Black Women wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Help us build this community by sharing with other full-time Black women like yourself. Visit our website at fulltimeblackwoman.com to see what's new or to reach out. Have something to add to today's topic? Join our Facebook group, Full Time Black Women Conversations. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Full Time Black Women or on Twitter at FT Black Women.